Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ineffable Podcast. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Maddie.
And today we are talking about my favorite part of Good Omens, and probably Maddie's as well, if I'm correct.
Yes.
The fan base. We love the fan base. And I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons to Doctor Who. But they matter.
Mm-hmm.
They matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, Maddie, what is your favorite part about the fan base?
I think it's just how, comparatively, we're not the biggest fan base in the world. Like, we don't compare with the Sherlocks, the Supernaturals, the Doctor Who's. Like, that's even just in TV, much less fandoms like Marvel or anything like that. But I guess you could call us, like, strong but mighty.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or small but mighty. Wrong word, but small but mighty.
Yeah.
And I think I just also love how, obviously, I'm not going to say anything about season 3, which that's made the fan base very interesting. We'll talk about that when we get to season 3.
Yes.
But up until this point, it has been very, inclusive, very wholesome, very supportive, and just, I think for the most part, pretty, I don't know, an awesome, good, happy place to be.
Oh yeah, I think, I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons to the Doctor Who fandom. I've been in the Doctor Who fandom for nearly 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate it so much because it is so desperate. It's so full of, dare I say, right-wing grifters that I'm just sitting there thinking, why are you here? And then in comparison, you look at the Good Omens fan base and you're like, everyone here is just lovely. Like, no one's complaining about anything. It's just really nice. And you'd think that some of it would carry over because a lot of the people who were in Doctor Who and who made Doctor Who and were involved in Doctor Who were also involved in Good Omens. So you'd think that it would carry over, but it really doesn't. And I really like that.
Yeah. I wonder if it, my opinion on why there's such a difference is probably because of the relative newness, you could say, of Good Omens. I mean, yes, you have the base of fans that have been there since the book, but I feel like that's probably smaller in comparison to the amount of people who've been there since, the beginning of Doctor Who. I guess you could look at it either at the 2005 starting point or back in the 1950s. You have a lot of people who are, watching Doctor Who who've been there since the dawn of time or just from the dawn of the New Age. And so I wonder if that, just because of the different demographic that it has and how a lot of the Good Omens fandoms are newer and newer exposed to it and to the fandom because of the show, as opposed to Doctor Who that has such a history and a belief of this is what Doctor Who should be, and it doesn't conform to that.
Yeah.
It's probably to after 50 years, then they have opinions on it.
Yeah, and I think as well, I think you make a really good point as well, because you always do, but I think this is a really good point for the discussion, because when Good Omens was released as a book, Doctor Who was off the air, so nobody was talking about it. Nobody, it was a dead thing. The BBC wanted it dead. The British TV landscape wanted it dead. So Good Omens was a new thing. And I think it put a good taste in people's mouths, whereas Doctor Who kind of put a bitter taste in people's mouths. But even back then, you had even, it's a great argument. I want to add to that argument. There are people who shipped Aziraphale and Crowley from the very beginning, but they were very small. It was a very small finite amount of people. And I feel like if we were in the Doctor Who landscape of things, and Aziraphale and Crowley were characters, you definitely have people saying, "Oh, they were forced." You know,
Mm-hmm.
LGBT rep for nothing. You know, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with the fan base itself, I think like the Good Omens fan base, I mean, I entered it very cautiously because I was like, okay, this show has a lot of connections to Doctor Who. David Tennant, Michael Sheen, because Michael Sheen was in Doctor Who, if some of you didn't know. Michael Sheen was in Doctor Who. David Tennant, Michael Sheen, a lot of people who were in who worked on Doctor Who either worked on Good Omens or were in it. And you'd think that again, like I say, some of that would carry over. And I went into the fandom really cautiously because I was like, oh god, because I knew from the very beginning that I shipped those two, and I was immediately like, oh my god, I'm gonna get so much backlash. So I put something on the internet. I don't remember what it was, but I got replies saying, oh my god, you shipped them too, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? I was like, really? I was like, really? People ship them too? Okay. And then I looked at the fandom another little bit, and I was like, wait a minute. There's fandom stuff everywhere. There's fan art, and it's so cute, and people just love this. Where's the hate? And then I actually had someone say to me at the time, I think that's gone now, but I think I had someone reply to me on Twitter being like, babe, this isn't the Doctor Who fandom, relax. I was like, okay, that's great, thank you.
I think that's why I don't think we talked about this on the podfic. I think we talked about this just in like real life, but I think that's people respond to when things feel performative versus when they feel like you're trying to check a box or whatever versus when they are legit and real and organic and like this is what it was always meant to be from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I feel like from the beginning it set up that there was a relationship between Kroll and Aziraphale and that like they laid those grounds from the beginning. But I think, and I think maybe this is like kind of my beef with some of the stuff with Doctor Who too, is it feels like a lot of the, you could call it representation that they have in Doctor Who or a lot of other shows nowadays feels like it's just they're trying to prove that they're progressive, they're trying to prove that they're checking a box, that they're like doing what they think people think is the morally right thing as far as representation goes, and it's not. It doesn't come from a place of, well, this is just how it is, and we're not gonna like beat you over the head with it. We're not gonna make a big deal about it. This is just how it is.
Do you know what's really funny about what you've just said?
Mm-hmm.
The funny part is that in 2005, when Doctor Who came back, the representation was great. You had Captain Jack. You had the girl from Midnight who was clearly a lesbian and had a girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend. I don't remember her name. It was the blonde woman who got possessed by the Midnight entity. She was a lesbian.
Okay.
And then you had other characters as well who were clearly written to be gay. However, and you had Cassandra from The End of the World who was a trans woman. And in the end, right, they didn't make a big song and dance about it. But yet in 2025, 20 years later, when Russell T Davies comes back and is allowed to be a bit more explicit, he just shoves it down people's throats. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're gay yourself. Why are you doing that? You know that you don't have to do that. Do you know?
Yeah, and it just feels like it drives me bonkers when it feels like changes are made to the story because of them trying to check a box or because of stuff that's happening behind the scenes or whatever. That's why it drives me nuts in spoilers for any of you who've seen Umbrella Academy. Sorry, I never finished it for partly this reason. But it drives me nuts in Umbrella Academy. There's a character played by now Elliot Page. At first season, heterosexual woman. Okay, first season. Second season, all of a sudden she is a lesbian woman. And then either the next season or the season after that is now a trans man.
I think that was because the actor was a trans man, though. I think that was because the actor came out. Was it not?
Exactly. That's what I felt like. I don't know. I just felt like that was, to me, trying to like they weren't doing it because it felt natural for the story progression. It felt like they were trying to shoehorn in stuff to do with the actor and then like make it all political because of the actor's background and not because that was where they wanted the story to go. That's where, I don't know. That
Yeah,
just,
no, I get you. I get where you're going with that. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
and I get that it's like it is then a tricky balance when they are in that kind of a situation, but it still to me just felt like, okay, you're just rewriting and taking a left turn on anything you could have possibly first planned, and just, what's even the word I'm looking for? Like adjusting it because of rewriting what you probably had planned based on what's going on behind the scenes. And it's like, should that be the case, or should you like stick? I don't know. I can't say that you either way is right or wrong, but it just felt very. It felt a little more forced and less organic to me.
They did a similar thing with Doctor Who, and this is actually they did two things with Doctor Who that are like controversial topics for people, but I'm gonna talk about them anyway. And if I overstep my boundaries, like guys, let me know in the comments or whatever, or Maddie, let me know yourself. I have two opinions on how they handled two separate things in the new era of Doctor Who. Number one, as a disabled woman, I feel like, I don't know if you heard, but they made Davros not disabled anymore. Because they thought that that would be, like, an evil disabled person would be not politically correct anymore. And I just thought that that was ridiculous. As a wheelchair user, like, I am a part-time wheelchair user, I just thought that was ridiculous. Like, Davros is who he is because of his origin story, so if you strip away his origin story, it's, what is he? What did he even make the Daleks for? Like, you're gonna have to rewrite his whole origin story now, and I just found it so annoying. And then there's also the problem of Ncuti Gatwa. It's not a race problem, and it's not a sexuality problem, it's a writing problem. Russell T Davies has done this thing. Have you seen the new era of Doctor Who, Maddie?
I watched the first season. I'm still working on the second season. I finished up to when Ruby left.
Okay. So I feel like, no spoilers for the second season, okay? I feel like they've done this thing where they're trying to make Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor as flamboyant and modern as possible. And I'm just feeling like that's not who the Doctor is? Like, okay, make him gay, that's fine, but you don't have to make him like, oh, this gay icon. You know, you don't have to make him like... You don't have to make him like the new RuPaul, you know what I mean? You don't, like, who else can I think of? You don't have to make him like Graham Norton, you know what I mean? You can just make him the Doctor. And I just feel like Russell T Davies, despite being a gay man himself, went out of his way to, like, I don't know, make him as flamboyant and stereotypical as possible. Whereas Crowley, right? Crowley's both gay and gender fluid. Not only do they manage to do that in a really good way, but they also don't make a thing and a big song and dance about it, and it's not his personality. You know what I mean? It's so much better done. And dare I say, it's better done by straight men for some reason. I don't understand, and I could go on about this all day. I literally do not understand how a gay man could do a worse job than a straight man. Do you know what I'm saying?
It is very, very confusing. It's like, why? I just don't get it. Doctor Who, the writing has, I think, struggled ever since Chris Chibnall came in, and like, I actually didn't mind Jodie's Doctor, like how she did it, but like the companions just didn't do it for me. They didn't get the companions enough of like, I didn't care like I did about all the other companions, like Anthony, Rory, Rose. Like, I didn't care, and it started. I think it started struggling for me when Peter came on. His second season really picked up for me. His second season with Clara was really good. His first one, terrible.
Yeah.
Just not because of him, but because of the writing and because they focused way too much on Danny and Clara, which pissed me off because it ended up going nowhere.
I know, they like just to kill him. Like, what was that about?
the whole plot hole of them supposedly having this descendant, and then, oh yeah, we're never going to explain that, so just kind of forget that we went down that rabbit hole.
Oh my god, it was so bad. And you know what? When they brought back Stephen Moffat to do Boom, a recent enough episode, I thought to myself, oh, this is going to be great. And then it just wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Doctor Who.
The second season was good, but his first and third, like the first one with Clara and Danny, and then the one with Bill just was not good. So I think that's it. I mean, you're bound to get people like I said with Doctor Who. When you have that history, you're bound to get people that have very mixed opinions on things, and some people that like some things and some people that don't. For me personally, golden age of Doctor Who is David and Max seasons. That is peak for me.
Yeah.
But not everyone's going to agree with that. But I think that's why I really like that Good Omens, for the most part, has a lot of people who just may not agree on everything, but they can come together and appreciate what they can appreciate together and agree to disagree on what they don't.
Yeah, like no spoilers for the finale because we're not going to talk about the finale in detail here. But the opinions on the finale as a whole are very divided. But I find that even though they're divided, people can still come together and be like, you know what? Let people have their opinions. Whereas if you have, like, say, again, the Doctor Who fandom, if you see one person who has a different opinion from you, you get slandered on the internet. It's a dangerous place to be. Whereas with the Good Omens fandom, it's pretty much, okay, I have one opinion, you have another, let's agree to disagree because we're all adults. You know? And I think a lot of it as well is because Good Omens is a more adult-oriented show than Doctor Who. So, like, you'll have people who have watched Doctor Who since birth, like, who've been brought up on the stuff. And then you'll have people who watch Good Omens that Michael Sheen has said that Good Omens is for people who like Game of Thrones but also like to have a laugh. So it's for that kind of demographic. And I think with...
I love how you...
Yeah?
Go ahead. I'll finish when you... I'll say my thought when you finish yours.
Okay. Yeah, because Michael Sheen said that, and then it made me think, like, okay, so Good Omens is clearly... I mean, from what he said and then watching the show, you clearly know that Good Omens is for a more mature demographic than, say, Doctor Who. It's not really a family show. It doesn't really take advantage of the R rating, I find. But it also doesn't have to. It also doesn't have to be like The Boys in terms of, like, blood and gore and language and adult content, you know?
Speaking of fandom, I love how you saying that comment about Michael totally shows me that you have 100% watched that clip of him on Graham Norton when they're talking about fanfiction.
Yeah. he's like, you know, a lot of that does involve me and David Tennant doing... And he's like, you know, there's a lot of that going on, and we gotta appreciate it, because it's quite passionate. And then Graham Norton goes, it goes gay so fast. And then he's like, it does go gay very quickly.
You were trying to deny it.
No, he's like, it does go gay very quickly. And do you find that with a lot of fandoms? Like, even fandoms that don't really have gay pairings, do you find that with a lot of fandoms there's always a gay ship in there?
Oh, yeah. Even with things that, like, clearly are never meant to be gay, they will find a way. Sometimes I roll my eyes. I'm like, guys, nothing in this. Like, they clearly done everything possible to show you that was never going to be a thing. They ended up with different people, for crying out loud. Like, they made it very clear in different fans that this is not going to happen, but, you know, internet's gonna internet. That's why I think I mentioned in the first episode, I was sure that all the shipping with Corlin and Aziraphale was going to be just the internet being the internet, because I've seen so much of that, of people reading into anything they can, even when the canon does everything they can to dispute that, they'll find a way.
Like, I've seen videos of people talking about the fandom and being like, okay, this all Crowley and Aziraphale stuff, right? It's just blown out of proportion, and then they're like, oh wait, oh wait, no, this is gay. This is really, really gay.
Yep.
And the best part for me about the fan base is not the fan fiction, but the fan art, because you can do anything with that, and you know, like I say, fuck AI. You know, artists be artists, and for those artists to take their time and to create such masterpieces, like I had an animatic made of one of my podfics, and I cried that day, Maddie. I cried that day. I was like, are you serious? Because I got it linked in the original post, and I was like, are you serious? And I just started crying my eyes out, and I was like, because it was very well done. It was really well done. I don't know if you've seen it. It was an animatic of the South Downs Cottage Chronicles.
Oh.
And it was really beautifully done. It was really beautifully
I love that.
done. Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And that's the thing. The fan base are so creative. Like that South Downs Cottage Chronicles thing was about 10 minutes long. And a student, I won't identify their age, but a student took the time out of their life to do that. And I just got so emotional, and I just thought it was so beautiful. Not only that I contributed something to the fandom, that they contributed something through something that I also did. So we're all contributing in some way. And that's the best part for me.
That was after season 2. I messaged you to see if you had seen this song, Us by Charlotte.
Oh God.
Which, for those of you who don't know, you need to listen to this song. It will rip your heart out in the best way possible and throw it in a blender. But the way she wrote this song is like incredible.
But Maddie, why would people want that? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to have their heart ripped into pieces.
Sometimes you just, sometimes, like we were talking about, like with the ending of season 2, like it hurts so good and I hate it. But sometimes you just,
I feel like this fandom are masochists. Because here's the thing. I make podfics that have terrible endings. People make animatics that have terrible endings. Why are we all so desperate to hurt each other through a show that is meant to be so light and positive and happy? What's the story? I contribute to that, and I don't even know. I don't even know why I want to make everything so sad.
It's tough. Yeah, I get it. Like, I'm kind of the opposite. I have to make myself, if I'm making something, it's hard for me to go okay, where's the drama? What's going on? It's hard for me to, because I know for good writing, part of the, thing that keeps the writing going is asking yourself the simple question of, okay, what do they want and what's keeping them from getting it? So, writing's not interesting if there's no conflict, but it's to make yourself say, I'm gonna hurt these characters that I love so much. It's hard. They're like your babies.
Like Crowley, for me, first of all, I kin him because I have a story to tell. Can I tell a story? So, I have strabismus. It's an eye condition. It's a condition that they thought it was a lazy eye. They thought it was because of my epilepsy. It wasn't. It's a condition that causes impaired vision in my left eye and also makes it go to the left when I'm unfocused. It's not a pretty thing to look at. So when I'm in public, I like to wear sunglasses all the time.
Okay.
So I identify with Crowley a lot because while he doesn't have strabismus or an eye condition, he still hides his eyes, which is something I do as well. And so when people started headcanoning that he wore the sunglasses just to hide his eyes, I was like, I kin this man. I kin this demon. I do. And it was so meaningful for me to find a character who I mean, I know it wasn't healthy for me. Like, I have to learn at some point that, like, my eye is fine the way it is, and bleh. But, like, it meant a lot.
Yeah. I think there is, yeah. That's why we find these comfort characters, and everyone has different people that they gravitate to, people that they connect to. We talked in episode 1 about all my connections to Aziraphale, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a foodie, I love my books, like all of these, a little bit of an introvert, and like all of these things. And so, yeah, I love that that's us as a fan base. We can find these characters that we relate to so much, and I love how appreciative they are of the fans, and how much they seem to like love us and want to treat this story with respect and care, and how they fought to bring it back. And like, even you probably didn't see this, but Back to Us, the song, when it came out, Michael ended up being tagged enough that he saw it. He heard us.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, and he commented on it. He's like, "This is like, I can't remember what he said, but something about it being like beautiful and dosing, like gorgeous, or like whatever." He commented on the thread about this song.
Oh my god, my heart goes out to the person who wrote the song. Oh my god.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, you need to listen to it, because the song is basically Crowley's perspective after the final 15 of season 2, and just the way she writes her words is just, you can tell it's such a love letter to the show, and she's just brilliant in a way. I'm not usually a big fan song person. Like, my friend is way more into fan songs, like Doctor Who fans or songs or whatever, than I am. But that one specifically, I'm like, okay, that convinced me.
Oh, that is gorgeous. I never knew that.
Mm-hmm. It makes me wonder if he showed it to David after he found it. I mean, I'm assuming he would, but...
Like, I'm not being funny, but like, imagine David Tennant hearing a song you wrote and going, "That's great." Imagine that.
Mm-hmm. I know,
imagine
right?
Michael Sheen doing that as well, because like if I met either one of them, I would die. So like, I can't imagine how the artist feels right now.
Mm-hmm. I have met David once. I don't think I've told you this.
What? You've never told me that. You've never told me this. What?
Yep. He came to our comic convention a number of years ago, and probably like 4 or 5, something like that, years ago, and I got a picture with him.
Oh my god! Oh my, are you serious?
Let me see if I can find the photo.
Do I have permission to put it on the screen or no? It's okay if you don't want me to. It's okay if you don't want me to.
I do have a friend with me, and so if you like block out my friend, probably, then
I'll try to do that. If I can't do it, I won't put it up. But guys, it's real. It's real. She met David Tennant. What the hell?
Let me just see if I can find where that... Oh, here it is. Okay.
I mean, can I ask a question about it?
Yeah.
Did you like die on the inside? What happened? Like, what did he say? How did the interaction go?
Yeah. It was super quick, and so I didn't get to like talk to him much. But yes,
I'm
there
not
it is.
showing the photo, guys, but it's real. I swear to God. Oh my God! You met David Tennant. Sorry, I'm getting way too worked up right now. I can't believe that you never told me that. You met David Tennant.
Yes, what absolutely kills me is this was before I watched Good Omens, and so this was kind of in my, I guess, as much of a David Tennant lull as I can be in. This was like several years after watching him in Doctor Who, so I hadn't seen him in anything new recently. Hadn't seen him in the Doctor Who specials, hadn't seen him in Good Omens yet. And so what kills me is he actually came back to my convention this last September, and I couldn't go because it was the weekend my sister was getting married.
Oh no. I mean,
so I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I had my friend get me an autograph of, like, since I don't have it, all the stuff I have from him is Doctor Who. I do have a signature from Doctor Who that I bought online, but I don't have anything Good Omens. So I had my friend take the Good Omens print of, like, when he's sitting on the chair right next to Aziraphale when they're talking to Muriel. I had her take it and have him sign it, and so now I've got to get Michael to sign the other one.
Oh God, I don't know if I'm happy for you, but I'm also jealous as hell.
That's valid.
Oh my God, he's right. Okay, I'm not showing the picture, guys, but I swear to God, he's right there in the flesh with her. Like, what? Okay, I'm gonna calm down. It's fine. It's fine. See, I can't meet David Tennant. I've had a rule for myself that I cannot meet David Tennant, because if I meet David Tennant, I will go into sensory overload. And that's not healthy for me, so I cannot meet David Tennant, and I envy anyone who does.
That's valid.
It sucks.
The only sad thing is at cons the interactions are pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a minute or two at a time. So I don't know what would help you if you've ever at a con. Be like, okay, I'm going up and then down. So like you're not like having an extensive experience with them. I don't know if that'd be less overwhelming for you, but that's what the experience is like. It's usually pretty fast in and out.
I do know that he's coming to. Oh, go on.
You do probably have a little bit more time with him if you get an autograph as opposed to a photo, because he'll usually say, it seems like based on videos I've seen that he talks to people a little bit more as he's signing than he's able to, and they're just trying to get a quick picture and move on.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Was he nice?
He did seem super nice. It was, again, fast, so I didn't get to say too much to him. But, yeah, he was super nice.
Oh my God. Well, I'm really happy for you. I have tears in my eyes right now.
I'm clearly so tall. Like, the difference between me and him. It's like, okay, sir.
Well, oh my God. Like, I know he's coming to, Comic-Con in Belfast. I can't go because I don't have the money. But do you know who's coming to Comic-Con in Dublin this year?
Who?
Billie Piper.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna see if I can rack up enough money to go, because I really want an autograph from her.
She's actually one of the first I met. I met her, Matt Smith, and Karen Gillan. I got a picture with all three of them.
How many other Doctor Who people have you met, and why haven't you told me before?
Let me see. I met them.
You have to think! How many have you actually...
I think that's most of them. I know others have come to my convention, but if I remember right, I don't think I've got, like, I think Catherine Tate's come. Like, a lot of them come to my convention. John Barrowman has come. Why can't I think of his name? Arthur Darvill. Yeah, mine kind of ends up being a hotbed for a lot of Doctor Who on and off.
Oh my God, how do you have the money for all that?
That only happens once a year. That's all I'll say. And it doesn't happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen every year. It totally depends. Like, there are some years when I'll go and get like 3 or 4 autographs because everyone's there. And then there'll be some that I'm like, okay, I'm literally getting 1 photo this time because I don't care enough about anyone else here to get the photos. I'm just here to experience the con, and people watch all the costumes and whatever, so it fluctuates how many people are there that I actually care about.
Like, oh my God, like, you never told me that. Like, you never even, like, brought up in conversation, even casually, oh, by the way, I met David Tennant. Like, I'm literally just finding out about this now.
I can't believe I haven't mentioned that now that I think about it. I'm like, oh yeah. I guess it feels like it does feel like we've known each other longer than we actually have.
Yeah, but Maddie, I talk about David Tennant all the time. You never, and we've been talking for what, like 2 months? And you never mentioned, oh, by the way, I met David Tennant. What? See, if you guys saw my video on how much I love David Tennant, you'll understand my reaction right now. It's a very autistic reaction. I'm a bit of a psychopath for David Tennant, but yeah. Like, I love him. And meeting him would be absolutely dangerous. But yeah.
I'm just hoping he comes back again a year I can actually go, because it feels like a lot of people love our cons, and like we're kind of known for having a really awesome con and really awesome fans here, and a lot of the people who come here just love it and end up repeating, and so I really hope that he ends up coming back.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. So awesome.
We need to bring Michael with him too. Michael's done like 1 or 2 cons, but he doesn't do nearly as many as David does. So I'm like, now that the show's over, y'all need to do cons together, please.
I think that might be because Michael Sheen, as much as we hate to admit it, does get more opportunities and roles than David Tennant does. So he's busier.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't do. I mean, David Tennant gets. From what I know, David Tennant gets offered the roles, right? But he doesn't do them because he doesn't want to move away from his family. Respect, by the way. Respect.
Like, part of the reason Mike didn't go this last time David came here is because he was neck deep in all of his theater stuff that he's doing with the National Theatre of Wales. That would have been right at that time when David came here, so... Yeah, maybe one day I'll get a photo with them together.
Oh my
One can dream.
God, I can't believe that! I actually can't believe that you met David Tennant and you never told me!
I honestly didn't even think about it until, like...
Oh, by the way, I should just casually mention that I met Rebecca's idol. Like, what?
Yeah.
You all look really happy in this picture, by the way. They all look really happy in this picture. They look gorgeous.
I will say I would love to have a do-over just because not him, but the experience itself was the worst photo op experience I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Because usually how it works is it's usually a really smooth operation. You get the photo, have to wait usually a while, but then you walk straight out. They have like a line of printers that they all have set up to be constantly printing all of the photos. Mm-hmm. Their printers went down that day specifically.
Oh.
So usually you're able to just walk straight out, grab your photo, and then you're done within 5 minutes after getting to the end of the line. But they ended up, I don't know where they found like some backup printer or whatever. They took everyone who had photos to this totally separate area of the con and would just randomly like hold up like, whose photo is this? Whose photo is this? Whose photo is this? We were probably
what a nightmare!
Hours.
It
was probably extra hours trying to get our freaking photo after they took the initial photo, and I'm like, are you kidding me? David, of all people, it must be the one that you grew up.
Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm just glad I finally got it though, then, because it's like, give me my David photo.
I assume you have this in a frame somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's very safe in plastic, and I'm like, yes, I am guarding this with my life. Yeah, that's what I just love about both of them. Like, back to the fandom, they love their fans so much, and I love that they love the fans. Like, when Michael was doing his shows, I always saw people posting about how kind he was and how, despite how exhausted he very clearly was, he would take the time to sign things, meet with fans, And like same thing with David. He always just seems to have the kindest interactions anytime people post like their little sneaky videos they get of him signing stuff or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I just love that they both have such a love for the fans and Good Omens and just the whole thing.
There is one thing about the fandom that I don't like. One thing. How psychotic we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like inhumane levels of psychosis. And I mean that in a funny way, so no one take that in offense. But yeah, I think I'm guilty of this too. You know what I mean? Because like, Good Omens is such a wonderful piece of art and media, and I think the people who get obsessed with it are right to get obsessed with it because it is just that good. So that's why the fandom is so wonderful, because the people, like Michael Sheen said about fanfiction, it shows such a love of the show and such commitment to it, you know?
Yeah, and I think most people have been pretty good about this, but like without spoilers on season 3, I do feel like I just need to like put this plug out there. I don't know, you might have seen this, you might not have, but apparently there have been a handful that have gone the complete extreme of like being threatening to cast, crew, whatever, like taking a really, really negative view on like expressing their feelings about season 3, like threats, whatever, and it's just like, are you kidding me? This is not what we're about. Like, get out of here.
I did see some of that. I didn't see the threats, but I saw that threats were being made. And I just thought to myself, okay, you either like the ending or you don't. You either like season 3 or you don't. But it's like you don't threaten people. You don't do that. Were you raised? Is my question to that.
Yep, that's why I like how there were so many people in response to that. That was like, are you kidding me? It's okay to feel what you feel, but this is too much. The fandom was just like, no, slap on the wrist. Stop it.
And it was like, okay, I'm gonna get a little bit into the allegations. So, are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
So, not the allegations themselves, but kind of like the reaction that the fandom had. So, if anyone doesn't want to hear about any of that, skip to a certain time slot that I'm going to put on the screen, and then come back. Okay, so I didn't like the fandom's reaction to the allegations. Because the first reaction that I saw was mainly, what's gonna happen to Good Omens? And it was like, ew, why are you doing that? What, like you a man has just been accused of all these heinous crimes, and your first concern is, what's gonna happen to my TV show? You know? And also, there were people, and I'm not gonna name who they were, but there were certain people who were like fully advocating for a full season 3 to get made, despite what was happening. And I was just sitting there like, dude, no. Yuck. You know? And yeah, that's about the two things that I don't like about the fandom. But that's it.
It is frustrating. It is frustrating because it's like, yeah, it totally feels like, why is it so hard just to be a good person? Like, why? And honestly, it did. I think that's why there's still people that are still so upset about us getting only the 90 minutes rather than the full 6 seasons, is it feels like, really, the only people that ended up actually ended up hurting and punishing was the fandom. Basically,
yeah,
he's fine. He's milking off of his teeth. We're the ones who got less content than we were promised. We're the ones who, like, oh, and the crew, like, how many cast and crew and writers and whoever else lost jobs or had their jobs significantly scaled back and lost a lot of money and a lot of their livelihood because of one man's actions. It's like, that's what made me mad, is it's like, you don't want to discount it at all in any way, but it's like, this sucks that because of one person, all of these people, not even just the initial problems, but all of these ripple effects just affects everybody else.
Yeah, and I'll talk about this more, and we'll talk about this more when, like, we get to talking about the finale. But without spoiling anything, you can tell that this was scaled down to 90 minutes. It's not really, it's not smooth. It's not smooth at all. You can tell, like, painfully tell, that this had to be
I felt like it, like, I liked what they did, but me and my friend, and like, I felt like they handled it as well as they could have under the circumstances. But me and my friend did look at each other multiple times and we're like, this is going so fast. They're like throwing so much at us so fast.
Yeah, even in my reaction, I was sitting there thinking, like, a lot of my reaction was silent, which is why it's only like 25 minutes long or whatever. But I was sitting there thinking, okay, we're going at like a breakneck pace here. Can we slow down, please? But we can't slow down because we only have 97 minutes to tell our story, so we can't slow down.
Yep, which is frustrating, but what do you do when that's the cards you're... And
No, I know.
I don't know. It is frustrating with Amazon how they were like, just... It just sucks that I don't feel like they were all about themselves. They weren't thinking about the livelihoods of the people involved. They weren't thinking about, like, who were going to be affected if they shelved the thing. Like, oh, all of a sudden, everyone who would have had jobs on this, everyone who was promised jobs on this or whatever, had contracts, whatever, it's just dead in the water. Like, really? You're gonna, like, all these people involved, you're just gonna act like the last few years they've dedicated to this thing and to your company mean nothing just because you don't want to look bad? Like, yeah.
I mean, I
frustrating.
understand why they did it. But at the end of the day, right, and this is something that I'm going to rant about when we get to the finale because I'm really pissed about it. He Who Shall Not Be Named is still on the fucking writing credits. So what was the point in scaling it down to 90 minutes if he's still going to get credit, if he's still going to get profit, if he's still going to be known for this? What was the point?
That's what drives me nuts about all the stupid legalities of it. I don't think there's any way to fully scrub him from the writing credits if they used any speck of what he and Terry contributed to the thing. And I think if you went the opposite way, then you would have been like, well, then what about Terry? Like, where's he in all this? If you completely go the other way and have, like, completely different writers write it, then, you know, I don't know, that's that tricky balance of, you know, how do you have completely scrub him without scrubbing Terry too? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Just a mess all around. Like, why must so many people do, like, it's not that hard to just be a decent person.
But the fandom,
it's really not.
The fandom gave me hope, though. You know, like, even when things were really, really bad, the fandom gave me hope. Because they still remained positive. Like, when it was cut down to a 90-minute movie, they were like, oh, Amazon are homophobic, and I was like, do you not see what's happening? But also, a lot of people were okay with it because they were like, okay, it's better than nothing, you know?
Yep, and I hope that, like, I'll be very interested to see, once the dust has settled on season 3, how things shake out. Because, like we said, there's been very, very big feelings about season 3.
Yeah.
But I'll be very interested to see, looking back, how people feel on things. And maybe I don't know, maybe I'm less of a hater than some people. Like, there are some things that some people absolutely despised and I don't hate as much as other people despise, like Supernatural. There are plenty of people who despise the ending of Supernatural, and while yes, I bawled my eyes out and it was bittersweet, I don't agree with people who just like completely trash it. And so I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I'll be very interested to see how, because even online right now I'm seeing a lot of like some people say, oh, it was absolutely brilliant, it was absolutely perfect, it couldn't have been in any other way, and I'm seeing people see like this ruined the entire thing for me. And so it's like I'll be very interested to see how things shake out in a couple months, couple years, whatever.
I think once people, and not to spoil anything at all, but I think once people get over those feelings, whatever feelings they have, whether they be good or bad feelings, it will mellow for people. Like, it won't be considered, oh, one of the worst endings of all time,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as well, because when I watched it, maybe minor spoilers ahead here, but when I watched it, I said it was a worse ending than Stranger Things. I said it was worse than Stranger Things. I said it was worse than Game of Thrones. I said it was the worst ending that I'd ever seen ever. But it's been a week now. Now that we're I think it's a week and a day. I think it's been like 8 days since we're recording this, and you know what? I have mellowed a little bit. It's not that bad. I mean, I wish for a different ending, but it's still not that bad.
I'm very excited for us to talk about season 3, because you and me have already talked in depth about what we think about it, and so that'll another episode for another day, though.
Yeah, I think we've got. Hold on, we've got. Well, we're talking about season 2 next week, and then we're talking about the hype of the finale and the build up to it. We're talking about the impact of Aziraphale and Crowley, and then finally we're talking about the finale.
Yes.
Alright, so I think we better wrap this up here. It's been fun, lads, as always. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Maddie.
And this has been the Ineffable Podcast.